Hey everybody, welcome to Live at 5. My name is Ryan Lee Gilbert.
And I'm Beth Stevens.
And we have a wonderful guest today.
We have one of my favorite people, Laura Michelle Kelly is here, you guys.
Yes.
Applause,
Star
applause.
of the King and I tour, but also has a special little thing coming up that we're going to chat about. But first, we have some news.
We have some news.
Yeah.
Well, before anything, we should say happy opening to Junk.
Oh yes,
At
happy
Lincoln
opening.
Center
Absolutely.
Theater. I always like to say happy opening before we get to the
Absolutely.
into it, but there is some news. Tell us about it.
There is. Well, this is one of those things that I feel like people willed into existence before it was ever, like, this is something people have wanted. But late yesterday, we found out that Beyonce Knowles Carter will be voicing Nala in the live action / CGI remake of The Lion King.
She already has the headdress.
Yes, she
She's
already
ready.
she already
She's
looks
ready.
fantastic for it. But they announced a few new cast members for this. In addition to Beyonce, you've got Meteor Shower star Keegan-Michael Key as Kamari, Alfre Woodard as Simba's mother Sarabi, J.D. McCrary as young Simba, Shahadi Wright Joseph as young Nala, John Connie as Rafiki, Eric Andre as Azizi, and Florence Kasumba as Shenzi. They will be joining lots of stars that were already announced, including James Earl Jones, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Donald Glover, Billy Eichner, Seth Rogen, John Oliver, all of the stars in Hollywood, essentially. And this is directed by Jon Favreau, and it is slated to be released July 19th, 2019.
That's far away.
That is far away,
But I'm already
there's
ready.
sort of we've got an anniversary of The Lion King
That's right,
coming
this
up
year,
here, so
20
they're
years.
capitalizing on all of that.
Big
That's an
deal.
incredible cast. Can't wait.
Okay, I don't know what you're doing New Year's Eve, but I know what I'm doing.
Yes, this is
I'm
a
going
great
to
idea.
obsess about getting tickets to this. Listen to this. This is a special concert, a New Year's Eve concert called Bernstein on Broadway. Listen to the lineup. Are you ready? Anna Lee Ashford, Aaron Tveit, Laura Osnes, Christopher Jackson. I mean, you guys.
Yeah.
They're all going to sing Leonard Bernstein in a televised New Year's concert. So even if you don't get tickets to
Right.
this, which is at David Geffen Hall, Lincoln Center, you can watch it on PBS stations at 9 o'clock.
That same night.
That night, so
Yeah.
you don't have to put on a tuxedo. You can just get out the bubbly in your PJs
Thank goodness for
and
PBS.
spend it with these great people.
Yeah.
And of course, they're singing songs from Leonard Bernstein's amazing songbook, which is On the Town. Wonderful, you know what it is. Wonderful Town, West Side Story, Candide. Like I had to tell you that. What an amazing
That
lineup!
sounds like so much fun.
So
Yes.
fancy.
And I never know what to do on New Year's Eve. My New Year's Eve plans always end up being bunk.
You can spend
So
it
this
at
is-
watching PBS.
I'm going to go to David Geffen Hall or just watching PBS in
One
my
or the other.
PJs. Yeah. Kevin Kline, recent Tony Award winner Kevin Kline, will be hosting the Drama League Gala. This event, as I think we've reported before, is honoring Meteor Shower playwright Steve Martin on November 6th at the Plaza Hotel. It's going to feature performances from Jennifer Samard, Lauren Worsham, Alex Brightman, Justin Guarini, Leah Delaria, and so many more. And speaking of Steve Martin, if you remember Bright Star, which I
Who
do in my
doesn't?
heart of hearts, yes, Carmen Cusack did a music video for her song "If You Knew My Story," because that show is on is at LA's Amundsen Theater through November 19th.
Wow.
So yeah, you can watch that on the site and get ready to see Meteor Shower.
See Meteor Shower, yeah. Meteor Showers come up in a lot of these news.
Yes,
stories.
a lot
Okay,
of
I just
Meteor
wanna
Shower
give a
peeps.
shout out to Ryan Lee Gilbert for I'm going to put on this one so you can see.
Yeah.
So
Look at that.
this, you all know what this is if I'm showing this to you, right? This is Carol Burnett
Yeah.
as Princess Winifred from Once Upon a Mattress, which she, of course, did in 1959. And it
Originated the role.
originated the role, and we still remember it because we've all seen those
We've all-
clips.
yeah, absolutely.
That is the new Broadway Cares holiday ornament.
Broadway legends.
Sorry, Broadway Legends. Thank you, Ryan. So, of course, this is for a great cause, for BCEFA, and it's by artist Glenn Hansen. And Christopher Radko turned it into an ornament. You can have Carol Burnett or Princess Winifred, to be
Yep.
honest, on your Christmas tree.
Yeah, or just anywhere.
Or
You
just
could
in your-
hang it on a window.
Yeah,
and wherever
or-
you want to put it.
Right, wherever you want her to put her. But I'm going to think a Christmas tree would be the most
Yeah.
appropriate, but you do you. So I should also say that her Netflix show, A Little Help with Carol Burnett.
Which sounds so much fun.
Okay, I'm going to just read this. Original unscripted comedy with Burnett and panel of straight talking 4 to 8 year olds. I have
like
one of those in
new
my house,
kids.
and they are straight talkers. That premieres in 2018. That is a must see, of
Sounds
course.
amazing.
Yeah.
Jerry Zaks, currently represented on Broadway with so many shows: A Bronx Tale, Meteor Shower, That
Hello,
meteor
Dolly.
shower. Hello, Dolly. He will be honored for the National Yiddish Theater Volksbean. Did I say that right? Is that?
Ask a Jew. Yes, you did. You're great.
He's being honored for his indelible contributions to both American musical theater and Jewish life through his work in entertainment. And this is happening December 17th at the Museum of Jewish Heritage. And there are lots of participants, obviously, when you're celebrating Jerry Zaks. Lots of people want to be involved. And you've got Victor Garber, David Hyde Pierce, Gavin Creel, Katrina Lenk, Richard A. Blake, Ron Rifkin, and more. So, way to go, Jerry Zaks. Congratulations.
So we have another good cause. This is the children's monologue. So this
Yes.
are based on stories of children growing up in South Africa. Listen to who's joining this lineup. I'm just like
Crazy people.
So many
Yeah.
stars today. Andrew Garfield, Common, and Jason Alexander. Now, of course, Andrew Garfield's coming back to Broadway
Mm-hmm.
in Angels in America, and Jason Alexander is currently off Broadway in The Portuguese Kid. The other people that are included in this lineup, are you ready? By the way, it's
They're
November
not.
13th at the Stern Auditorium, and that's at Carnegie Hall, is
Yes.
it not?
Yep.
David Diggs, James McAvoy, Audra McDonald, Sienna Miller. I mean, it's so many famous people. Javier Munoz, Trevor Noah, Susan Sarandon, and Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Right.
What?
And look at these writers who
Oh,
adapted
right.
these
So
stories.
we've talked about this before, but it's Lynn Nottage, Neil LaBute, Tom Stoppard or Stoppard. Thank you very much. Jack Thorne and Laura Wade, and there will be a musical performance by Tony winner Cynthia Erivo.
And this benefits the Dramatic Need charity, which helps African children prosper. So
Amazing.
great
Great
organization.
group of people doing great work.
And there are a few things on the site right now that are really exciting that you can check out. We did a character study with Love Never Dies tour star Gardar Thor Cortez, who plays the Phantom in the show, and that's incredible. Jonathan Groff, one of my favorite people in the whole world,
So true.
was on Stephen Colbert, and he previewed the very funny but very fake Mindhunter the musical.
Laura
sang
Michelle
little
Kelly is a
tune.
fan of Mindhunter.
Mindhunter is
She's
so
obsessed.
good. It's
Yes.
incredible. There's a new side-by-side with Susan Blackwell, and it has waitress star Betsy Wolfe. They visit some llamas. And I think they
Yes,
pick some
they do.
apples. They do.
There's some other stuff going
yeah,
on, too,
there's a
but
lot,
there's
but
that.
it's a lot of fun. A new episode 6 of Sincerely Me, backstage at Dear Evan Hansen with Will Rowland. And war paint scribe Doug Wright wrote a love letter to Patti LuPone and Christine Ebersol and the whole cast of War Paint.
Because they're closing on
Because they're
Sunday.
closing,
And of course,
yes.
Doug Wright
And
wrote
it's
the book for
beautiful.
War Paint.
And you should check that out. And that's it.
All right, guys, don't go anywhere.
Stay right where you are.
We'll be right back with Laura Michelle Kelly.
When I think of Tom, I think about a night when the earth smelt of summer and the sky was streaked with white and the soft mist of England was sleeping on a hill. I remember this, and I always will. There are new lovers now on that same silent hill, looking on the same blue sea. And I know Tom and I are a part of them all, and they're all a part of Tom and me. Hello, young lovers, whoever you are. I hope your troubles are few. All my good wishes go with you tonight. I've been in love like you. Be brave, young lovers, and follow your star. Be brave and faithful and true. Cling very close to each other tonight. I've been in love like you. I know how it feels to have wings on your heels and to fly down the street in a
Welcome back to Live at 5. I'm Beth Stevens, and I'm here with Laura Michelle Kelly.
Hello.
Yes, thank you.
I'm
Thank
so
you for the
happy
applause.
to be back here.
Thank you for coming back. You look gorgeous as usual.
Thank you.
And of course, you are in the King and I tour, but you also have a concert coming up at 54 Below.
Yes, I took 4 weeks off, and the beautiful Heather Botts took over for me as
So they're
Anna.
in Florida right now.
Yeah, and she's been crushing it. She did Las Vegas. We've changed some children since then, so I'll be going back to quite a few cast members that are new, and I head back when I go to my hometown, New Orleans, which is coming up in 2 weeks' time.
Right, your dad lives there, doesn't he?
I live there now.
You do too?
Yeah, I have a house there now,
Oh my
a little
gosh.
cottage next to my parents.
That's very sweet.
Who would have thought it? You can't write the story that you end up
From the
being
Isle of
in.
Wight to New Orleans.
Yeah, New York, New Orleans.
New York, of course.
Now I'm like everywhere with this tour. We're in every city. And you know, it's so funny getting off the plane to New York after you've been in all these different cities around America. The pace here is so much faster, and it takes your breath away almost. when
Yeah, like you
step
have to
in.
change your metabolism a little bit.
You have to run everywhere.
Before we talk about all of the things that you're doing, I want everyone to see what you're wearing. Because these are very, look at that.
Who wears
stretch, look at that.
PVC and sequins?
Look
Me.
at these sequin pants.
I
Are
just
you
woke
showing
up this
us?
morning and I was like, what the heck? I just want to be sparkles
She always brings
today.
it. She always does. So
Just
that's
felt like it.
fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go anywhere in those.
Well, we did a promotion for 54 Below this morning, and I really wanted to jazz it up, so I put sparkles everywhere. Just because I can. I even got my nails done. As Anna, you cannot have sparkly nails.
That wouldn't make sense because when this is 1850 or something.
1860.
1860.
I did that once, and never again. I got in trouble.
A big note from the stage management.
No sparkly nails, Anna. But yeah, so I'm doing a show at 54 Below that
So
I
this is on
talked about
Tuesday, is
here.
that right? Yes, you did.
Like, I don't know, 6-8 weeks ago when we were doing that musical video.
Right, which
turned
you also
out
saw.
Amazing. Thank you, Broadway.com. But I talked about doing another show, and here I am.
And you have some special guests, right?
Yes. So Tuesday, November 7th, the Tuesday coming, we have a 7 o'clock and a 9:30. Jessica Vosk.
Oh my gosh.
Who has a cult
Jessica Vosk.
following
She does.
from her life. And also, you know, I just watched her in a Skivvies thing. Did you see that?
I did.
My
Well,
goodness,
so of
she's
course,
so fierce.
Jessica Vosk, Broadway people know her from the most recent Fiddler, not Your Fiddler,
Yes.
where she was Fruma Sarah, but she's also been Elphaba on tour
Yes.
and Wicked.
She's got a fierce fan base. Anyway, so they're all coming because of Jessica Vosk, which is awesome. So we're
They're
doing
not
an
coming
amazing.
just because of Jessica Vosk. That is
We're
not
doing
true.
an amazing duet, and my show's all about icons. I really wanted to explore, you know, empowered and inspiring women. I guess because I'm in that phase of like, you know, I want to be better, I want to keep growing, and to watch these people's lives and what they went through and the songs they chose to sing and what resonated with them. And it's been a really fun exploration the last 4 weeks writing
So it's
it.
called Both Sides Now,
Both Sides
which is, of
Now.
course, a Joni Mitchell song.
Yes.
But who else? Who are some of these other icons that you sing?
Well, the people that in my life that have changed my life, Julie Andrews, of course, who coloured
we have
my
to talk
voice.
about Julie Andrews.
We have a medley of her songs because she's just probably one of those women that have really empowered me from a child with her voice, the way it sounds.
What was your
the
first
way-
Julie Andrews experience as a child? Which movie was
Sound
it?
of Music.
Sound of Music.
Yeah, Sound of Music.
Of course, you won an Olivier Award for playing Mary Poppins, in case you forgot.
And that's when I met her.
And you met her. You performed for her.
I actually performed
This
for
is a very
her. My
famous
skirt
story.
fell off
That's
in
right.
Jolly Holiday, and I had to sit on the bench the whole of Jolly Holiday. She apparently leaned over to Cameron and said, "Is she all right?" Which I was mortified to hear later. But I was literally panicking because I was so much more nervous about her watching, which I never realized I'd be like that. I was more nervous about her than the Queen.
So you performed for the Queen
Yes, when
And
I
you
was doing My
performed-
Fair Lady.
during My Fair Lady, and you performed for Julie Andrews, and Julie Andrews made you more nervous.
Definitely.
But your skirt did not fall off for the Queen.
No, it
Okay, that's
didn't.
good to
But
hear.
when I ran to go meet her, everyone had found out that she was in the theatre. It was an unofficial visit
Oh, right.
at the Drury Lane. And that she'd come to see her friend, Anthony Andrews, who was playing Higgins. And as we were running over in costume to see her, he said, "Don't forget, it's Your Royal Highness and Your Majesty." I was like, "Who to who? Who to who?" And as we were going in the door, I didn't know who I had to say what to. And I
There are
said,
a
"Your
lot of rules."
Majesty," to the Queen. And apparently that was good and right.
Yes.
I was so relieved. I turned to her husband, Prince Philip, held his hand and said, "Hiya!" And they shook it.
what to
Highly
call you.
inappropriate. Anyway, he led me on like this. Get out of the way.
He
No, Yes,
They
but
know
I was
how to push
inappropriate
people
and I was
along.
common probably. But no, that was an amazing experience.
And then what was it like when you finally met Julie Andrews?
She was so nice. She was just the royalty you want. You know, she's so sweet. I talk a lot about that actually, about other things that she talked to me about in the show on Tuesday. So if you want to hear more, come. But Barbara Streisand, Carole King, you know, women that I grew up listening to.
This is quite a range of people. This
I
is
know,
not the same genre of people.
It was so hard to like isolate. We had Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, Celine Dion. I listened to them all through my youth. And it's so funny because the girls that are writing the show with me, Sammy Canold and Madeline Smith, who are up and coming in their own field, musical directing, they didn't know how to pick out Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey out of a lineup. They are a different
What's going on?
generation. I was
Oh
like,
my God.
what? How old am I? That can't be true. Anyways, the
I
world
don't
of
want to
musical
know
theatre.
who their people are. I don't want to know.
Now
We have
Natasha
so many
Bedingfield.
questions.
Yeah,
many questions.
So many questions.
Oh,
I've been
yay.
ignoring you all, and I'm so
sorry.
sorry. But the Facebook Live people are going bananas, as they should.
Oh, good. I should learn
Julie
how to do
Andrews
that.
is your queen, and you are our queen.
Oh, that's nice.
Sarah is asking, what advice would you give someone who wants to star on Broadway one day?
I would say practice, practice, practice. And if you are in your bedroom practicing, don't think that you are too far away from that dream. Because you can often feel you're so far away, but really all you are is one song away or one step away. You could go into that room, that audition room, and get the job in front of all those people. Or it could take one person hearing you in a benefit, or that, and someone listens and they invite you. You are just one song away from getting there.
That's very good advice.
What, you
People
often
are
feel like it's
asking-
impossible, but it isn't, because I made it, so other people can.
If you can do it, anyone can. Is that what we're saying here? I don't know if that's true. George is saying, since you've been gone from the King and I tour, what have you missed most?
You know, I've
During
only
your
been
break.
gone 3 weeks, and it feels like 3 months, because they all keep we've got a Facebook group, and they're all talking about the things they're doing. They've had Halloween, they've had a change of children. Like I said, I didn't get to say goodbye to my 3 of the kids. It was just a bad timing
But
thing.
do you miss that like 40-pound dress that you wear?
Apparently, I have a new dress that I'm
Really?
about to go get fitted for
Everyone
on Monday.
knows this dress, right? The big
Purple
Shall We
lilac
Dance dress.
Award-winning
Kathy
Zuber
Zuber,
dresses.
yeah.
I've got a new Cinderella dress happening, which I'm getting fitted for on Monday. I do not miss it. No, I don't
That's what she
miss
doesn't miss. The children, yes,
I don't miss
not the
the
dress.
weight, but I miss the people really bad.
Someone else was asking, what is it like to work with children? And of course, you worked with children in Finding Neverland as well.
I love it. When I was 15, I was babysitting 5 kids, you
That's a
know,
lot.
next door. I've always babysat. I've always loved my friends' children. For some reason, I haven't had any of my own, and I just, you know, love kids. So any chance to work with them is brilliant.
Well, you have a lot in The King and I. There are a lot of kids. Oh, this is a really difficult question. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Colleen wants to know your favorite tour stop so far.
Durham. I had a really magical moment in Durham. I went to Eno State Park, and I was really blown away by the nature. I also got stuck there because they didn't have lifts. Got stuck in the middle of a city I didn't know very well. No taxi, and my battery on my phone died. So someone helped me. But it was a magical moment. And there's been so many of those. Greenville's so beautiful. They all have their own charm. And you know what? I'm probably going to make a list and write down. It would be a really good idea to say all the fun things that I enjoyed about.
Laura Michelle Kelly's Guide to America.
Yeah,
That's what I wanna read.
Especially the dog-friendly zones.
No, I was just going to ask you because I am so sorry I haven't asked already. How is your dog?
He's amazing. He's actually
He's
really
the love of your
tired
life. I mean, come
today.
on.
He had a really big day yesterday. New York's like lots of feet and lots of giants walking around him. Like, you know, I traipsed him through Times Square last night trying to get an outfit for this press thing today. So he's tired today. So he's resting.
So when you
at
travel
home.
with him, I guess you can't stay in hotels. How do you do this?
Because he can't handle.
I assume he's coming on
hotels.
tour with you because
He's
how could he
everywhere.
not?
Yeah, my best friend. He's the biggest cuddler. He wakes me up in the morning with his tail wagging. I mean, dogs are the best. If someone grimaces at a dog, I don't know what their experience must have been. I'm like, missing out. He's brilliant.
Is he going to make an appearance at the concert?
I wish. I don't think it's a dog-friendly venue. I should probably check. No, probably
Will there be
not.
photos?
Of him? There was at my last show.
I know that. That's why I asked.
Not this time, but I do have a happy moment. Just like I did before. No one's coming to the stage, but I might be going to them with a surprise if anyone hasn't got their tickets.
Be careful, people.
Do you know what I wanted to say? That in honor of me coming on Broadway.com, they've allowed me to have a little promotion for you guys if you want money off tickets.
This
Which
is a
I should have
first, I
said.
think. This is very
LMK20.
LMK.
If you put that in, Broadway.com listeners, because you tuned in today, you can now get money off tickets.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
How nice is that? All right, let's go back to your questions because they keep coming. I mean, this is just scrolling now. Your dream role.
My dream role. You know what? It's so funny singing Julie Andrews songs right now in my show because I wouldn't mind playing Maria one day. That would be nice. But my favorite thing is to create roles. So I really love, there's no money in it, but to get into a room with new writers and workshop new shows, there's nothing better than that. I love it. I love it.
Which you did
at
with
the
Finding
development
Neverland.
stage.
You were very involved with that.
4 years I was with that show. We did 3 workshops. You know what was so funny is I looked around and I saw, I don't know how on earth I made it through all the casts that disappeared. All the people disappeared except somehow I stayed with the show. And I was always worrying about my job. Like, surely is it going to be me next? But Diane was always so supportive, so encouraging. Barry Wise the same. While we're on the subject.
Yes. Let's just clear the air because everyone's been asking you this question, so why don't we just bring
they're
it
worried about Weinstein if he ever made a
So
movie
Harvey
on me, which he
Weinstein
didn't.
Produced
Ever.
Finding Neverland, and you had no
He-
negative
no.
experiences with him.
He wasn't always very nice, like in general, about sometimes, as producers can be, but none of us, to my knowledge, experienced anything untoward, and so it's been utterly shocking to hear.
But now everyone
the
has been
depths of him.
asking you.
Yeah, and
you
I'm okay.
can all calm
Everybody,
down.
don't
It's
worry
okay. No
about
one
me.
has to ask you again.
I'm so thankful, and I mean, it's so awful what happened to the other people. I feel
Yeah.
very sad for them, and it honestly is very much kept in the dark. A lot of people wouldn't have known about that sort of behaviour, and we never experienced it. But how sad for them.
But it was a beautiful show.
But it was a beautiful show. We made something very stunning, and people do still come up to me and say their lives have changed by moments in it. And I think we made something amazing. So at least something beautiful came out of that show.
Oh yes,
Yes.
definitely. Well, thank you for clearing the air.
I'm glad that I
I'm
had the
glad that you were
opportunity. I didn't want anyone
able to
worrying
say
about
that.
me.
Now we're going to ask you some more ridiculous questions. Not that your
Yes.
questions are ridiculous, but they're a little lighter than that last one.
I like silly
Michelle wants to know
questions.
what is your favorite snack
My favorite
before
snack?
a show.
Oh,
That's a different thing than just after a show.
Oh, I love sushi. Sushi, avocado and salmon avocado sushi. But do you know, on tour, they have this thing called the Tour 20, where you put on 20 pounds because you're eating more fast food than you've ever eaten, because you're eating on the go,
on
you
the
don't know where all
road.
these things are, you don't know what they're putting in the food. It's totally
I've
happened to
never
me.
heard of the Tour 20.
I
I'm learning
feel
so
like
much from
I've gone
you.
up 2 sizes since going on tour. So when I come back to Broadway, it's the walking around because also you're driving everywhere. You don't know where all the
I know you're so overwhelmed by
groceries are.
walking everywhere in New York again with your dog.
Yeah, I know.
Like, what's going
It's
on?
like, where am I?
Oh my gosh. Sarah is asking, did you get to see Tony Yazbek in Prince of Broadway? And Tony
I
Yazbek, of course, was in
didn't.
Finding
But
Neverland.
you know what I did do? And everyone must be really excited about this. We did a pilot for a TV musical show. Did you know that?
No, I want to hear more.
It's
I'm just
called
nodding.
Goose.
Goose?
And we're hoping someone picks it up. We did a development pilot
Oh,
for
tell me
a
more.
musical. It's about fairy tales and musicals.
The title now makes
based.
sense.
It's actually really well written by an incredible guy called Scott Pauly. And we filmed it in Miami. It looks amazing. It hasn't been released yet because they're taking it to...
And Tony
but
was part of
Tony
that?
got me the job.
How did that
I was
happen?
Mother Goose, and I was like this evil, Maleficent type woman who creates worlds with her words, her musical word. It was so much fun.
And he got you the job.
He did. He recommended me for the job.
That's
so thanks,
fun.
Tony.
Thanks, Tony Yazbek. All right, everyone's telling you that they like sushi too.
Okay.
And
You know, it beats depression. Salmon and avocado. Avocado is and apple are depression beaters.
you always have wise words for our listeners.
Well,
which
you
I
know,
really
we're all very
appreciate.
dramatic types and we all feel emotions deeply. So you need to keep, waking up your body with the right fuel.
That's true. That's true. Everyone has so much to say, but this is one that I just want to say. This is more of a comment. Jason says, I just want to say it was great meeting you. While you were in Finding Neverland, you were just so nice and took 3 selfies with me. Thank you so much for that experience. Do you like doing the stage door?
Actually, I have to say, only if I'm really, if I'm not exhausted. Because I feel like if I'm exhausted and I go out there, people have had a great time, I ruin it by being like this. So I try to make sure, wait, can I handle being complete? Because if you're also really full and focused on one, you have to do that to everyone too. You can't have favorites. So I try to always make sure I'm in a really good people mood. I don't want to ruin it for some, but if I'm like totally spent, I don't want to ruin it for them.
And you have to keep yourself healthy. That's meeting a lot of people.
True. I don't know if that's the right thing, but for me, I'd rather not come across a bitch. I'd rather not come across a bitch to them and like ruin it because I'm just tired. So that's sometimes why I'm not at stage door, because I'm either sleeping, throw a break, or I race home to my dog to walk him, or I'm just too tired. So otherwise, I love meeting people. I could talk.
You're so honest, and I love that about you. You just tell it like it is, and that's the best. So we have to get going, but Deborah's asking, have you seen any shows during your time in New York City?
I'm seeing Hello Dolly on Saturday, and the cast are here right now. Well, half of them are here right now because they're off on layoffs. They had Halloween week off. Isn't that great of our producers? So everyone had their week off and they're all here, and I'm seeing the cast, and they were going to see me in a rehearsal version of my show, but I decided I needed to save it for Tuesday. So we're recording the album tomorrow. Everything that we're doing for 54 Below, we're putting in a studio before I go in there.
I did not know that.
I'm excited about tomorrow.
Great.
Yeah.
We are getting you at the right time, Laura Michelle Kelly. Thank you so much for coming in. Everyone, go to 54 Below on Tuesday, November 7th. There are 2 shows.
Yes,
is that right?
7 and 9:30.
7 and 9:30.
LMK 20 for the
That's right,
promotion.
LMK 20 if you want to have a little discount. Just for watching. Thank you for coming in. And then, of course, we'll see you back on the K&I tour.
Yes, until at least February.
Great.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.